Welcome back to the Sports Desk on SYN 90.7 FM with Michael and Kendra here for a very special sporting interview with a special guest who is a Bachelor of Applied Science, Health and Physical Education student at RMIT who is currently competing at the highest level in swimming for uni sports at RMIT, and she'll be competing in the Uni Nationals. She loves the water so much that she's currently a swim coach, lifeguard, and aquatic mentor at Camberwell Grammar. Here to tell us a little bit more about her swimming career, along with how to properly communicate with dolphins, Olivia Derndorfer, welcome to the Sports Desk today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Now, firstly, tell us about what inspired you to get involved in swimming as a profession.
Look, I've loved water ever since I was little. Mum used to tell me, like, whenever I was in a bath, I was always loving the water. So started off learned to swim when I was younger, and then just moved up the ranks through that. So yeah, it just kind of happened and fell into place. So yeah.
Now, is the reason that you're hiding the second half of your body is because you're a mermaid?
No, I wish I was a mermaid.
Can you elaborate on what competitive swimming varieties you've witnessed and been involved in?
Yes, so swimming, you have 4 main strokes, I guess you could say. So the first one, like butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. So in most of those events, you can compete in a 50 meter, 100 meter, or a 200 meter. And then on top of that, you have an individual medley event. So that incorporates all 4 strokes, and you can do a 200 or a 400 IM in those. So that's kind of what the main concept of all the swimming is. And then again, on top of that, you have relays as well. Like most other individual sports, you can come together as a team and complete in relays. So that will be the medley again, so 1 of each stroke, and a freestyle relay as well. So that's most of the swimming events you see out there. So 200 IM is probably my number 1 event at the moment.
And Kendra, from your swimming background, is that a pretty difficult event to compete in?
Yes, very difficult. It's very lactate city. I just stuck to freestyle, didn't touch the other strokes. So doing all four of them, it's a painful, well, for me anyway, it was very painful and it was a lot of lactate.
What does the RMIT Elite Athletes Program do to ensure that you can participate in your swimming competitions?
It allows you to have more flexibility with, say, your classes and your assessments. So instead of having to apply through special consideration and stuff, you can just use that you're in the Elite Athlete Program to get extensions on tasks, or if you're going to be absent from classes and certain stuff like that. So it just makes it more convenient to do sport that you want to do whilst still getting a university degree. Most of the swimmers on the RMIT team, they'll compete with their own club or train with their own club. So not necessarily be trained together. So they'd just be training wherever they train most of the time. Yeah.
So can you elaborate on the competitions you have planned for 2021, and is there a burning ambition for an Olympic debut in the near future?
Look, my dream as a kid was always to go to the Olympics, but the country we live in, Australia, it's very hard to make a team. So many great swimmers in Australia. This year is an Olympic year, and I might be lucky enough to go to trials this year. We'll just have to wait and see. Looking to compete at Short Course Nationals at the end of the year. That's going to be my last ever swim comp. I've called it already, which is exciting. The comp calendar this year is a bit different to other years because it is an Olympic year again. And also not many comps have been released, especially after the year in 2020 we had. So yeah, we'll just see what happens in 2021.
Now, on a local and international level, what are some of the most enjoyable places that you've competed at? And what are some of the more intimidating venues that you've been swimming at as well in your career?
Yeah, so one of probably the most exciting comps I've been to, I went to New Zealand for their nationals one year. Beautiful place to swim over there. It was a nice outdoor pool that we swam in. And I've competed in probably almost every state in Australia at some point or another. The new pool up at Gold Coast, where they had the Commonwealth Games, that's a very nice pool to race in. And I raced there 2018 for Uni Nationals as well. So yeah, that's probably one of the nicer pools that I've raced in.
So for those out there who may be scared of the water and getting swimming lessons, what is some advice for them to overcome their fears?
With the country we live in, Australia, we're surrounded by water. So water safety is such a huge thing. So if you're too scared, you just got to start somewhere. Just ease your way in, be in a place that you feel comfortable. If you know someone that's a swimmer or a swim teacher or something, get their help. Yeah, you just got to take it step by step. And the water is a great thing. And it is also a very important thing to be safe around. So, yeah.
Finally, what is your craziest swimming story that you have for us, either in a competition or swimming casually?
I get up on the blocks for one of my races, and in the lane next to me was Steph Rice, who was current world record holder in that event. And I freaked out so much that I was on the blocks for 4 seconds longer than I needed to be. Everyone was in the water. I was still on the blocks because I was that nervous. My idol swimming right next to me. It's probably one of the standouts in my swimming career, I guess. But yeah.
I'm guessing you caught up to her.
No, I wish.
Was she the main swimming idol that you had growing up, or was it Grant Hackett or Ian Forbes, Libby Trickett?
There was a lot, but Steph Rice was probably one of the standouts for me because she did a lot of the events that I did. Yeah, she was probably the highlight growing up. Libby Trickett was probably one of them as well. Liesl Jones was up there. I did some training with Liesl Jones back in the day when I was very little. She trained at the club I was at. But yeah, Steph Rice is probably still my number one idol.
Olivia, thank you so much for joining us on the Sports Desk today, and good luck in your very final year of competitions, and very exciting future ahead for you in the teaching department.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me. It was great to be here and talk about swimming.